Alright, welcome to another video by Johnny IELTS. Okay, chào mừng các bạn video khác của Johnny IELTS. So we are practicing speaking of IELTS speaking now, and we have a student. She's using the account of her husband, but it's actually Miss Trâm. Probably you won't know who Trâm is, but don't worry. A lot of my subscribers won't know who Trâm is. Okay, Miss Trâm, are you ready for your 2 hours long speaking practice?
Yeah, had to be.
Oh wow.
No choice.
No choice, huh? Okay, let's say you have... Okay, let's talk about museums now. This is a hard topic, okay? Mới giờ đã chịu hard topic rồi. Bảo tàng. Okay, museums. So when you talk about museums, it's related to time, history, you know, and also culture too, because you know, museum, there are many things in there. For example, we have artifacts, những di vật. Những cái di vật còn sót lại, artifacts. Chúng ta sẽ có cái gì? Monument. Monuments, những cái bức tượng. What else do we have? We have paintings. May have paintings, những tranh vẽ. Or we might have skeletons, or the remains, hay là remnants, những gì còn sót lại. Like remnants or remains of you know, animals and plants or people in the past, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so museums. So Miss Trâm, please, do you like visiting museums, and why?
Actually, I do not like visiting museums because I'm not really in
a big
history.
Fan of history.
I'm not a big fan of history, and you know, moreover, and visiting a museum is better to have like a guide or a người diễn thuyết, like a speaker.
No, just a guide is okay.
Yes, it's better to have a guide to have me better understand what happened in the past, or introduce me something like paintings, or the past of the những vật trưng bày là gì ta?
The past of the objects being on display.
The past, yes, the past of the objects being displayed.
Being put on display, được đặt lên trưng bày. Of the objects being put on display.
Being put on displays, and so I'm not really like visiting museums.
I'm not a big fan of visiting museum, I see. But are there any museums in your hometown?
Yeah, in Canada there are many museums. For example, art museums. Hàng không là gì anh ha? Về hàng không.
There are a lot of different kind of museums. You have
aircraft,
aviation, hàng không, aircraft museums or aviation museums,
aviation museum,
culture
art
museum, bảo tàng về art museum, yes, bảo tàng văn hóa đó.
Yeah.
Culture museums,
culture museum, aviation museum, or art museum. So and also Canada, they rất là trân trọng gì anh?
They appreciate. The Canadians appreciate.
yeah, the Canadians, they appreciate the culture.
Yes.
Những cái họ rất trân trọng những cái the culture's beauty, the beauties of culture. So they build a lot of museum to just to preserve
Preserve.
the preserve
Preserve.
preserve nhấn âm nhấn ba
Nhấn âm 2.
nhấn hai.
Preserve. To
Preserve
preserve something.
to preserve their cultures, the customs, traditions.
All right. So, do you think there should be more museums in your hometown?
Lý do là gì? So yeah,
Yes.
I think it's a good choice. It's a good idea to have more museum in my hometown. At first, it can help us to better understand the history. I mean, for example, like the cultures museum, we can learn the variety of cultures originated from many areas in all over the world, and also having also museum it is a good means of like teaching children the traditions, custom, and history. So
very good. Rất tốt, rất tốt.
Yeah, history. So it's a good way to convey like what happened in the past, then just teaching them like in the classic way, just in classes.
Okay.
Ý của em rõ không ta?
Then,
Is it
okay,
clear?
good. So, what can museums provide to people? Bảo tàng có thể cung cấp điều gì cho con người ta? Like to the people, to the city, to the country. Nó dùng để làm cái gì? Mục đích của bảo tàng là gì? What's the purpose of having museums?
When it comes to the value that museums can bring to people, I can say two things. Firstly, it can benefit their tourism. I mean, for example, usually visitor they will come to museum as like they will choose the museum as destinations to visit, and it can like to visit, so it can help the city or countries make more money, and also it's a good way to like introduce the cultures of a nation to like international people. So yeah, so it can like reinforce the images of these countries, and moreover, and in addition, museums museums are lợi ích gì nữa? And museums is a good place to to để bảo tồn, to remain, to để giữ gìn, để bảo tồn là dùng preserve luôn hả?
To preserve, yeah. Bây giờ nó như thế này.
Yeah.
To preserve dùng cho những cái không sống. Ví dụ văn hóa, culture, buildings, languages, for example. To conserve
Yeah.
Conserve, dùng cho những cái còn sống. Ví dụ plants and animals. Plants, animals, humans, etc. Một cái là preserve, âm Z. Preserve, một cái là conserve.
Conserve.
Okay.
Preserve.
So basically we have the noun form of that. Preservation. Preservation. Sự bảo tồn. Và conservation. All right, good. You see, you shouldn't have rushed to take the IELTS exam, you know. You should spend time and study the basics first, you know. You see, rushing is never a good idea.
But I have no choice.
You have no choice. You have no choice. Oh, of course, you have many choices, but you didn't take in the past. So that's now why you are here, facing me in front of a camera and 8,000 of my YouTubers. Okay. Of course, everyone has a choice, Miss Trâm. But you took that chance, so, I mean, you chose poorly. You should have studied English. I mean, you should have learned more English in the past, you know. So maybe now you could reach band 6.5 or even 7, you know.
Yeah.
That's something to regret about.
Yes.
Learn that lesson, please. Please. Learn that lesson. Now, so what are usually on display in a museum? Cái gì thường được trưng bày trong bảo tàng vậy?
I can say mainly almost everything that almost everything that is displayed in the museum is historic. I mean, for example, is monuments, like or paintings by famous painters like Picasso, Van Gogh, and also some dinosaur skeletons, and and all of them played an important role in history to show people like the revolutions, to show people like valuable culture, something. I mean, all of them have a the meaning of history.
Okay, good. So, what can people learn from visiting museums? Museum những âm hai nha. Con người ta có học được gì từ chuyện viếng thăm những bảo tàng?
So people can learn something interesting from visiting museums. For example, let's think about the war museum. Bảo tàng chiến tranh đúng không? War museum, which displays like the aircrafts or like
very rusty weapons, những vũ khí rất là rỉ sét.
Okay, rusty.
Well,
rusty
I'm just
weapon.
Joking, of course. I'm just joking. A lot of weapons and aircraft and things.
Weapon, crafts, or like a crushed part of the tank, cái xe tăng đúng không anh?
Yes, tanks.
Yes, tank. So it can help people to like understand what happened in war. So it can educate
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Are so.
What else then?
No, disaster. Devastating. How devastating?
Devastating.
Devastating wars are.
Tàn phá thế nào?
Yeah.
Devastating.
So they can help people to like respect, like appreciate the peace.
Can help people to appreciate the peace that we have now.
Yes, that we have now. And and let's take another museum. How about like culture museum that displays cái old những cái gì ta? Culture museum that displays những cái old tools, những cái old devices, for example like household devices that that were used in the past. So visitor can like better understand the revolution, how the society developed.
Developed.
Những âm hài. Yeah.
How the society developed. Very good.
And yeah.
All right, good. So, do you think museums are necessary? Nhâm đầu. Necessary. Cái bảo tàng có cần thiết không? Do you think the museums are necessary?
So, okay. So, in my opinion, it's very important to So I think, so in my opinion, I think museums are important because of two main reasons. Firstly, museum is
Nghe nó
places
giống như văn viết vậy, nghe giống văn viết vậy. Why does it sound like as a written language? Let's just say there are two main reasons. Why there are two main reasons why museums are necessary. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
There are two main reasons why.
So there are two main reasons why museums are important. At first, museum it can help to develop the tourism. More and more people they choose museum to visit as a destination when they come to strange city, a strange nation. So it can help the city or nation to earn
to develop more
money. Yeah, more money.
Better, yes.
Yes.
And museum is a part of tourism, you know. Nó là một phần của du lịch.
Yeah.
It's a part of tourism.
Yeah. And also museums are places to conserve the culture and the remnants of history. For example, dinosaur skeletons. They take a lot of space and effort to like for conservation. So yeah, that's what I mean.
All right, I know what you mean, but you need to be faster.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to part 2 now. You see, this is a hard topic, but I want you to do something even harder.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. After this one, you will have New hair. You will have new hair after this one, trust me. Okay, let's try 35 now. Học IELTS bạc đầu thiệt. Hói đầu luôn. Well, alright, so let's do 35 now. Let me see. Describe an interesting conversation you had with someone. Miêu tả một cuộc đàm thoại thú vị bạn đã từng có với ai đó. You should say who you spoke with. Bạn đã nói chuyện với ai vậy? Where you were, lúc đó bạn ở đâu? What the conversation was about. Cuộc đàm thoại đó về gì? Explain why you think it was interesting. Giải thích tại sao bạn nghĩ rằng cuộc đàm thoại đó là thú vị. And then we have part 3 of interesting conversation. What is the most interesting conversation you have ever had? Cái cuộc đàm thoại thú vị nhất bạn đã từng có là cuộc đàm thoại như thế nào? So try to not talk about the same thing as part 2, okay? Ráng đừng có nói cùng một thứ nha. Và nói hai thứ khác nhau. So in your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to? Theo nhận định của bạn, điều gì làm cho người khác thú vị để nói chuyện với người ta được? Một người thú vị thì nó có cái gì khác biệt không? Is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know and why? Có khó để bắt chuyện với ai đó mà bạn không biết họ là ai không? Tại sao? Okay, you have some time to think now. Alright, describe an interesting conversation you had with someone. Cẩn thận động từ. Past tense. Careful.
So when it comes to an interesting conversation I had... Conversation. So when it comes to an interesting conversation with someone in the past, I could say is a talk with my grandmother. I just had an opportunity to talk with her 1 year before she passed away. And at the like the hostel house. Nhà giống như là cái nhà ở trước khi qua đời anh. So yeah, it's like I can say it. It was a 2-hour long conversation, and I learned many things interesting. For example, by talking with my grandmother, I could understand how hard it was in the past for my grandmother to go to school, although wars were happening, and so I can understand.
Although what happened?
War.
Although war happened.
Wars happened, and additionally, I could also imagine how difficult the life was in the past.
Life không có đờ nha, life không có đờ. How difficult life was in the past.
Okay, so I could imagine how difficult life was in the past. I mean, people usually they didn't have rice to eat, so they usually had to eat sweet potato instead of rice.
Trời ơi, sweet potato bên kia mắc lắm nha, đừng đùa. You know, sweet potato is actually very expensive when I was in Hungary. It's like three
No,
times more
I'm,
expensive, four times more expensive than rice. You know? Dã
no, I
man
mean
nha.
in Vietnam. I mean in
Okay, in
Vietnam.
Vietnam, it was like
In
okay.
Vietnam. Okay. Yeah. And through this interesting conversation, I can appreciate the peaceful life now and respect and more respect um, my parents and grandparents, and also people uh, who fight for the peace nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
I see. Now, so what is the most interesting conversation you have ever had then? Cái câu 35 nó chỉ
uh,
là một cuộc đàm thoại thú vị thôi, còn câu 35,
yeah.
còn cái part 3 này là cuộc
Yes.
đàm thoại thú vị nhất mà nó từng có.
Yes. Okay. So okay.
Yes.
So the most interesting conversation I ever had was one that I well once when I talked to an alumni at my at a workshop when I was a senior, and why I consider it the most interesting talk um, because she's really inspired me at that time and give me more energies and motivations to continue my educational part and um,
And
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 also and
and what?
also and
Yes.
also she is an international student. No, not international. She's and also she rewarded a scholarship studying abroad, and so it give me more motivation to learn English, maybe to uh, to achieve something, a scholarship um, to go to the different country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good enough. Now, so in your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to?
So so based on my experience, I think many factors can have a person more interesting to talk to. For example, um, how knowledgeable they are. Let's talk about uh, Steve Jobs.
Oh no.
His yeah, yeah
Oh
his
no, Steve Jobs again.
yeah. Sao anh?
And never mind. Just continue, please.
Okay, so let's talk about Steve Jobs. He's an like he was smart and good at technology. So listen to him, or talking to him can help us to gain a lot of knowledge. about like technologies, about like business, something. And one more thing that helped a person to be more interesting to talk to is that
Wait,
the
to be more
way
interested to talk to.
to be
Wait,
more
to be more
interested.
interesting cũng đúng, tại vì nó là bản chất của cái người đó thì là interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So another factor that help a person to be more interesting to talk to is that the way he or she convey the message. I mean, for example, the body language or the eye contact or even the accent he or she speaks. So it can make the listener
Yes.
be attracted to the conversation.
Okay, good enough. But why would you say that the person, an interesting person, has to possess those kind of characteristics? Tại sao mình lại nghĩ là những người thú vị phải possess, phải sở hữu những cái tính chất như vậy?
Okay. Yeah, because like I mean,
You need to
listener.
explain too, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So and the reason why these characteristics are needed to assist in an interesting person is that listener are likely to like talk to exp- experienced person because they want the talker, they want the speaker to share what listener need to like gain more knowledge, to learn something new. So these characteristics are necessary to convey
Necessary
the message,
to
to have the listener like satisfy what they want.
Alright, good. So is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know? Why?
Yeah, okay. In my opinion, it's quite difficult to talk to a person that I don't know because of two main reasons. At first, we don't know what characteristic, what we don't know what that people like. For example, a strange people we meet on street, we don't know what we have in common, so we don't know what to talk about at the um, at the first meet. And so it's very difficult to start a conversation with them. And moreover, um, like we so and moreover we also don't know their personality, so maybe we like I mean nhiều khi cái tính cách nó không hợp thì sao anh?
Maybe their personality doesn't match.
Doesn't match.
Maybe
so
if
maybe
their personality
our personality doesn't match. So yeah, and sometimes talking with them
don't match it. If our personality
don't match.
don't match.
So our personalities don't match. So sometimes talking with them can lead to argument or the conflict.
Conflict.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Right. Is there any other reasons why It's difficult to start conversation with someone you don't know. Có thể là cái interest của người đó không giống nhau, những cái sự hứng thú á. Like the interest between people are not the same, so it will be very difficult to start a conversation with. Ngoài cái chuyện tính cách, nó còn là cái interest nữa.
Different interests. Yeah.
Like for example, if you're interested in, let's say, investment, and I am not interested in that, I'm interested in totally something else, it would be hard to even start a conversation, you know. Cái interest nó quan trọng lắm nha. Cái sự hứng thú của mỗi người nó không hợp nhau thì hứng thú nó không giống nhau luôn. Alright, so let's try something else now. Try 39. Describe a polite person you know. Miêu tả một cái người lịch sự mà bạn biết. You should say who he or she is, how you knew him or her, làm thế nào mình đã biết người đó, what he or she is like, and explain why you think he or she is polite. Tập trung vào mấy cái you should say nha. Stick with what you should say. Now, and then part 3 of polite. What is the standard of being polite? Cái chuẩn của chuyện lịch sự là cái gì? Ví dụ đi gặp người ta thì phải đúng giờ hay sao? Like being on time, during dating, đi hẹn hò thì phải làm sao? Ai trả tiền? Who pays during the dating? Should you be late for that dating? You know? How about eating out? Should you eat the food of the other people? Có nên ăn đồ ăn của người khác hay không? Or should you, you know, standard of being polite? Cái chuẩn của xã hội của chuyện là lịch sự như thế nào? Ăn mặc như thế nào? Like dress code, you know? Dress code also. And then what behavior will be regarded as impolite? Cái hành vi nào sẽ bị coi như bất lịch sự? And why? Mình đã nói nhiều nha. Và cái chỗ này nhiều hành vi bị coi là bất lịch sự lắm. Like for example, if you bring children and they cry in the restaurant or the supermarket, that is extremely rude and impolite, you know. Đem trẻ nhỏ vào mà để nó chạy tùm lum như vậy rất là bất lịch sự luôn á. If you bring your own children and let them run around and screaming, that is extremely impolite, you know. But of course, a lot of Vietnamese parents do that. And it's super annoying. Okay? Or you can talk about other things that happened in the society. Or if you haggle, động từ to haggle, you know. Or to bargain, mặc cả trả giá. Actually to bargain is actually, I think it's impolite. Mặc cả trả giá người ta thì thật là một điều mà khá là bất lịch sự. Especially when you haggle like with teachers or doctors or someone like that, you know. Very, very impolite. You know, okay, then who are more polite? People from cities or those from the countryside, and why? Người nào lịch sự hơn, những người đến từ thành thị hay những người đến từ vùng thôn quê, tại sao? And what do you think make people polite? Điều gì bạn nghĩ là điều gì làm cho con người ta lịch sự? Like, tại sao người ta lại lịch sự như vậy? Nó có đem lại cái lợi cho người ta không? Is there any benefits why people are polite, you know? Okay, you should think about this one. Let's do it. Okay, please, Miss Trâm, describe a polite person you know.
A polite person that really I was impressed is my best friend's father, Lucy's father. And the first time I meet him was on Lucy's 18th birthday party, and he made me so impressed by the way he like cư xử behave, how the way he behave. Like for example, when I came to the dinner table, he will pull out the chair for me. He pulled out the chair for me, and Also, he the way he talk is very soft and was soft and was soft and also có gì nữa? And còn gì nữa? Anh có thể bịa được nữa. Anh chỉ có thể bịa được như đó.
Nghe giống chuyện cổ tích. It sounds like fairy tale now.
Chị cổ tích. Bịa được như đó à?
Okay, fine. Okay, you want to do it again? Describe a polite person, you know. Let's do it again. Okay. Please.
So when it comes to an impressive, polite person that I met, I could say my best friend's father, who is Lucy's father, and I first time I met him was in Lucy's birthday party, and when I came to that party, um, he was the person who opened the door and welcomed me to his house. And when I came to the dinner table, he pulled out the chair for me and pulled out the chair for me. And also in the party with many dishes ori- ori- originated from Mexico culture. So yeah, Mexico culture. So I find it difficult to choose what I really to choose what suitable for me to eat. He was the person who introduced what ingredients, and yes, it helped me a lot to pick the food I like. And also the way he talked to me is he was very soft. So yeah, it so so it's so it's no. So and also I can cho nên là so the way he behave can help me learn a lot how to như giúp cho tôi học được cái cách kiểu như sao ta, cái cách mà cái ông ấy đối nhân xử thế, cũng giúp tôi học được nhiều thứ, can help me learn many interesting things
On how to treat people better.
Yeah.
How to treat people better.
Yeah, how to treat people better.
How to treat people better with more respect. Với sự tôn trọng nhiều hơn.
Yeah,
alright, good. Now, what is the standard of being polite then?
So, okay. When it comes to standard of being polite, I could say something that many people think about. For example, being on time on, for example, being on time on events such as group. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure. Okay, let's do it again. Polite. When it comes to the standard being polite.
Okay, when it comes to standards of being polite, I can think about some aspect. For example, being on time on events such as group meetings could show that you respect other members in a team by not letting them wasting time for waiting for you. And also when you have friends eating out with you, it's better to like share the bill or pay individual part. And also, one more thing that I can think of is the like the body language. For example, for like uh, Muslims cultures, it's it's impolite to like to touch them. So it's better for us to like keep
Keep distance. Keep a distance.
yeah, keep distance when talking to them.
Giữ khoảng cách đi. To keep a distance, you don't want any trouble, you know.
Yeah, to keep a distance.
Okay. So, what behavior will be regarded as impolite? Why?
Okay, in my opinion, a behavior now in my opinion, whether or not a behavior is polite or impolite depends on cultures, depend on individual point of view. For example, like I said, for Muslim, it's very rude to touch them, so it's better to keep a distance while talking with them. But in like, for example, in Vietnamese cultures, maybe touching people like such as like put such as putting our hand on someone's shoulder can show that you are like
Care.
uh, uh,
You care and you want to be friendly.
you care, yes, you care, and you want to show the uh, friendliness to other people. So yeah, and one another thing is that maybe like for males or for men, talking with the strong accent, the strong voice, show that you are very like interested in the conversation. But
That's weird, right?
but in
That sounds
contrast,
weird.
with females, but in contrast with female, it's better to use a soft voice to show that you respect the woman.
So it means that if a guy have very deep voice and very strong voice, it means they are disrespectful for women and they are doomed. Is that what you are trying to say? Có nghĩa là mấy
No,
bạn mà
I
giọng
mean,
trầm, giọng mạnh, giọng trầm quá thì chắc gặp phụ nữ chắc chết hết rồi. chắc là khỏi kiếm được ai. Is that what you mean?
vậy nếu mà đối với người đó thì mấy người đó thì gọi là no choice rồi.
What do you mean no choice? I've seen a lot of those kind of guy. They are very manly and they have and they already have, you know, wives, you know.
I mean,
So,
khi
okay,
mà
anyway, that's your opinion. Okay, good.
yeah,
So, what else are polite impolite now? Are regarded as impolite.
behavior that is impolite. Impolite, you know, the okay, and another example I can I can think of is the like asking people in advance
Yes, what do we ask them?
prior to use someone's like belongs. For example, we should ask for permit to use like laptop or phone or like books of one of friends before like using it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very impolite to use it without asking for permission.
Okay.
And why nữa? Why đúng rồi. Là
But
giải thích là
why is it
why rồi đúng
impolite?
không?
Nhưng mà tại sao cái điều đó lại bất lịch sự? Why is it impolite?
Impolite. Trời ơi, còn why nữa.
Yes, yes, you have to say why is it impolite.
Because and the reason why these behaviors are impolite is that by doing so, it can show that you do not have respect for them, and it can invade. Nó gọi là gì ta? Cái invade the privacy.
Privacy, yeah.
Yes, and it can invade the privacy of one person, I think.
Okay, good. Right, nó invade cái xâm nhập phạm vào cái riêng tư. It invade the privacy of another person. Or you can say it intrudes.
Intrude.
Cái từ intrude này nó hơi bị xúc phạm, nó hơi bị xâm phạm. It intrudes, you know. Or you can say it is intrusive, tính từ của nó.
Intrusive.
It's an adjective. It is intrusive. Invasive nó mạnh hơn intrusive nha. Invasive là giống như là nhào vô phòng tắm người ta chụp ảnh chẳng hạn.
Yeah. And also
Or
some
entering the house
behaviors
illegally. Entering the house of other people illegally. That is invasive. But intrusive means like you're trying to ask about like, you know, private things. Hỏi những điều riêng tư, nó là intrusive. Nhưng mà nó chưa đến mức invasive.
Okay, yep.
Alright, so who are more polite? People from cities or those from the countryside, and why?
Okay, so in my opinion, people from cities are more impolite than ones from the countryside.
Interesting. Why? How come?
Okay, so the first reason is that the urban people, the urban citizens, they have more opportunity to approach the modern cultures. So they will learn many things from different cultures on around the world. So it's easier for them to know what is impolite and what is polite to foreign people, for example, and also it's very difficult for rural citizens because so for people from countryside. So countryside is okay. From countryside, and one another reason is that those who live in rural areas, they are likely to to live together. So, ý em là họ thường họ sẽ kiểu như những người ở ở nông thôn thì họ sẽ quan tâm tới nhau nhiều hơn.
People in the
So they
countryside, they
care.
tend to care more for each other.
Yeah, so people in countryside, they tend to care more each other. They
Care
more
more for each other.
they more they care more for each other. So nó đâu liên quan gì tới polite đâu ta. Nó bị hơi bị lạc đề rồi, vô duyên quá. Sao con này vô duyên quá. Con này nghĩ coi, nếu mà mình nói no thì sao? Nếu mà không, the same thì sao ta? Khó vậy. Okay, nói no đi. So in my opinion, urban area and rural area, ngốc nghếch rồi đó, silly đó. So in my opinion, people from cities and those who from countryside have the same level of being polite, because of two main reasons. Firstly, it depends on the education. I mean, every people are teach how to treat people in the same way. They are taught.
They are taught how to treat people in the same way. Are you sure you are okay now?
So chắc nói nhiều quá, nghĩ nhiều quá, nó bị điên rồi.
Are you sure you're okay now?
Okay. Gợi ý đi anh, hint đi anh.
Trâm ổn không? Think about the fact that people in the countryside always ask very intrusive questions regarding if you want to marry or not. When are you gonna get married? What is your salary? Something like that are very intrusive questions, you know? Những câu mà không nên hỏi, câu đụng chạm đời tư. Think about that fact.
Vậy thì city more polite. Nếu mà sao lúc không nghĩ ra ta? Vậy thì mình nói là people from countryside, they are like kind of old fashioned. Rất là mộc mạc, rất là kiểu vô tư thì sao anh? They don't care much about the careless. Okay, careless. Carefree.
Careless là bất cẩn. Bất cẩn, còn carefree là vô tư. Không care lắm.
Yeah, carefree.
Careless là bất cẩn, còn carefree là vô tư.
So they don't care about what other people think.
Actually they do a lot. Thực sự người ở vùng quê care cực kỳ luôn, cực kỳ quan tâm đến những điều mà người khác nghĩ luôn á. Tại trong cộng đồng nhỏ xíu như vậy, có chuyện gì xảy ra một phát là biết ngay.
Yeah.
Because in a small community, if something happened, everyone talks about it. So people are very worried about what people think of them, you know?
Yeah. Sao tự nhiên quay một vòng mà không biết nói sao?
Okay, let's do another one now. What do you think makes people polite? Điều gì làm cho con người ta lịch sự nè? Tại sao phải lịch sự?
Okay. So, the thing what make people like. Okay, let's talk about the factors that can make people polite. Two things I could think of. The first thing is that the education. I mean, for example, when we are children, our parents usually teach us how to behave, how to treat people politely. For example, being on time in meetings and the way we talk to each other, the way we talk to other people, have to show the respect for them. And so education is very important to make the education play an important role in uh, like in making people polite or impolite. And another reason is that the people people want to receive more respect from others. So being polite to different people can help them
differentiate. You mean to differentiate?
Yeah. Sorry?
You mean to differentiate?
To differentiate. No, ý là lịch sự với người khác thì sẽ nhận được cái sự
to be polite to others, you will receive the same.
Yes, to receive the same.
If people behave politely to others, they will probably, chắc là có thể cũng thế nào cũng nhận được y chang. They will probably receive a similar response. From others.
Hay quá.
Họ chắc kiểu gì cũng sẽ nhận được một cái lời hồi đáp giống như vậy từ những người khác. They will probably receive a similar response from others. Hay không?
Probably. Yes, hay.
Probably nha, probably nha. PR với BL. Probably. Tại vì sao? Cái chữ probably á, nó có nghĩa là gì? Kiểu gì thì cũng hoặc là có khả năng cao là gì đó. Còn properly nó có nghĩa là một cách đàng hoàng, một cách bình thường, cách đàng hoàng. Hai từ này nghĩa khác nhau hoàn toàn nha. Properly với probably khác nhau nha. So they will probably receive a similar response from others.
Okay.
Không hay thì làm sao mà I become your teacher được.
Hay quá anh ơi. Trời ơi, nhiều khi không nghĩ ra được làm sao mà mình nói được tự nhiên.
Oh, you know, it's been how many years? It's been at least 28 years since the last time I started learning English, you know. 28 năm thôi.
Gần bằng tuổi em.
Well, and I also taught myself how to speak Hungarian and German language too, so you know. Nói được tiếng Hungary và tiếng Đức một chút xíu nè.
Trời, em thấy tiếng Đức nó khó à. Thấy nó làm sao, nó
thật
thể
sự
loại
nó khó hơn nhưng mà nếu có nền tảng tiếng Anh tốt thì nó ổn thôi.
Vậy ha.
Thật
em thấy học tiếng Anh xong rồi qua tiếng Pháp. Ủa vậy anh?
Thật sự tiếng Đức rất là giống tiếng Anh luôn á, 60% luôn á. Cho nên mình nghĩ là nếu tiếng Anh mà ok, chuyển qua tiếng Đức rất là ổn luôn á. Thật sự người Việt học tiếng Pháp ổn hơn là người Việt học tiếng Anh nha. Người Việt học tiếng Anh rất là vật lộn luôn á, nhưng mà người học tiếng Pháp thì là dễ hơn. Est-ce que vous comprenez le français? Do you speak French?
Un peu. Trời ơi, em quên sạch hết rồi anh ơi. Français.
nhớ chút xíu thôi à.
Không, nhưng mà nghe tiếng Pháp vẫn có gì đó, em vẫn thấy nó rất là cuốn hút.
Nó sang, nó romantic, nó sang, you know. Mặc dù trong các nước thực dân là Pháp là nó gớm nhất luôn á. Trong các nước thực dân Pháp là ghê tởm nhất, nhưng mà thực sự cái tiếng Pháp nó sang.
Sang thiệt. Nghe nó công nhận nó romantic thiệt.
Yes, if you think so. Alright, so That's it for this question. Let's move on now. We have work to do. Thử cái 40 này sao? Describe a time when you felt very bored. Miêu tả một cái thời điểm mà bạn cảm thấy rất là chán.
Đây.
You should not describe my lesson.
No. Ấy là thời gian lúc học IELTS.
No. You should never describe the time you learn IELTS as being very boring, you know. Cẩn thận tính từ chủ động bị động nha. Boring hay bored?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bored.
Okay. Describe a time when you felt very bored. You should say when it was. Lúc đó lúc nào vậy? Who you were with. Bạn ở với ai? What you were doing. Lúc đó bạn đã làm gì? Explain why you felt bored. Tại sao mình cảm thấy mệt, nhàm chán. And then feeling bored. When do people feel bored and why? Con người ta cảm thấy nhàm chán khi nào? Tại sao? Đừng nói khi when studying nữa nha.
No. Phần lớn là studying anh.
No. Thực sự mà nói là nhàm chán là do tại vì cái gì đó lặp đi lặp lại hoài á. You know, when you have to repeat something so many times. So when you have to repeat something so many times, that's when it becomes very boring, you know. Yes. Okay. What do people usually do when they've got nothing to do? Con người ta thường làm gì khi họ chẳng có gì để làm cả? You should not answer like they do nothing, you know. Họ sẽ không làm gì là không được nha. That you should say when they have got nothing to do, they may go out and talk to their friends, maybe for example, or they can go to the cinema, or they can play video games, or they can, you know, read books, something like that. Okay, do children get bored more than in the past? Why not? Trẻ em có bị nhàm chán hơn trong quá khứ hay không? Tại sao không? And then do you think boredom can bring some benefits? Bạn có nghĩ cái sự nhàm chán nó đem đến một số lợi ích không? Try that. Okay, you have some time to think now. Do it. Okay, describe a time when you felt very bored.
A time I feel a boring time.
Felt quá khứ.
So a boring time that I went through in the past was a time I had to learn politics in my university in the second year, and I found it very boring because it's too much about theory. It's not practical, and also I was not good at learning by heart. That is not interesting for me, and so it took me a lot of time to remember everything we had to learn, and but fortunately I passed the test. I passed the test, and with the minimum score.
Minimum score, but at least you pass, right?
Yeah.
But so finally I managed to pass the test. Tôi cố gắng sao pass được rồi. I managed to pass the test.
I managed to pass the test.
Okay. What else then?
Yeah. Xong hả?
Is that
nhiều
all?
Đó. Yes, that's
okay,
all.
So when do people feel bored and why?
I can say two main reasons that can make people feel bored. The first one is that when people have to do what they don't like, So they will not have any motivation to finish the work. For example, when I was a child, I find it very boring to have my mom doing
Mother.
house chore.
To have my mother doing house
My mother
chores.
to doing house chores. Yeah, and I just tried to clean the house as fast as possible. And uh, and another reason is that when people have to do something repetitively, so for example, uh, some people they worked as a office staff for 2 or 3 years. So they will find another job with or another position in different companies, like to find something new to challenge themselves.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
see. So what do people usually do when they've got nothing to do?
Um, hmm. Ok. Câu này là không biết. Thường không có gì làm thì họ sẽ làm gì? Okay. And based on my experience, when people don't have anything to do, they will find like câu này vô nghĩa vậy ta. Không có cái gì để làm thì họ
Cái
làm
này
cái
vô
gì?
nghĩa.
Ủa, không
Tức
có
là
cái
khi
gì
họ
để
không có gì để
làm
làm
họ
thì nó
làm.
chán quá thì họ làm gì để mà đỡ buồn á. It's like if they are too bored because they have nothing to do, what would they do to help themselves, to not feel bored
À,
anymore,
à, nó nghĩa là khi mà feel bored đó đúng không? Chứ không có gì để
Yeah,
làm thì làm cái gì?
yes.
Như
Correct.
thấy câu này. Okay. So based on my
Oh my
experience,
god.
when people feel bored, that
Mhm.
they will find something they are fond of. For example, watching movies, or hanging out with friends, to to forget about
To
the
forget
boring things.
about. To forget
To forget.
about.
To forget thôi. To forget about. Yeah.
To forget
To
things.
forget the boring things that to forget the boring things in their life. uh,
Mhm.
and and sometimes I can see some people they go sleeping to kill the time when they find it boring for them,
Mhm.
or they have nothing to do. For example, just myself, when I have waiting for the test result, so I have nothing to do, just sleeping up to 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day.
Mhm. All right, good. So, do children get bored more than the past? What do you think?
So in my opinion, there are more interesting things for children to do, um, to not to make them bored than in the past. Uh, at first, there are more there are many recreational, đúng không anh? Từ là đúng không?
Mhm.
Giải trí, recreational đúng không?
Đúng rồi,
So
recreational
there
mang tính
are
giải trí á.
many, so are many,
Recreational.
so there are many recreational
Cơ sở vật chất giải trí.
games facilities. So there are many recreational facilities to help them uh, to have them relive, to have them fighting, để có thể đừng có help them nữa. So there are many recreational facilities for them. For example, like game centers, or park, zoos, and or something. So they can go to these places with friends or families, and to play together. And yeah, it's a good way for them to relax. And in summers, for example, and just only thing I can think about. Còn gì nữa không ta? Hết rồi. Yeah, it's the only thing I can think about right now.
All right. How about the fact that children these days, they can play with their iPads, they can play with their phones more than in the past, much more. Do you think that they get bored easily? How about people in the past?
No, okay.
Think about that fact.
So nowadays, with the technologies development, many more and more children, they have iPhone or iPad, uh, uh, which uh, which is more and more children have iPhone or iPad with many games or apps on them, and so I find it like less boring for them to play with these gadgets.
All right, if you want it that way. Do you think boredom can bring some benefits? Câu này khó nhất nè. Think about the fact that if people are bored, you can think of many other creative ideas to solve your problems. Nếu mà mình nhàm chán quá, nhiều khi mình sẽ nhảy được những cái ý tưởng mới để giải quyết cái vấn đề hiện có của bản thân chẳng hạn. Think about that.
Okay. So okay. So I think boredom can bring like a positive and negative effect for people. On one hand, when people feel bored, they can come up with some creative idea to kill their time. For example,
Yes.
for example, when I was a child, when we have nothing to do, we usually create some some games to play together, or we used to make up some story to cheer each other up. So it can help to re-strengthen the relationship and improve our create creative ability. And but however, negatively, boredom can make people to do something detrimental. I can say, for example, some teenagers, when they have nothing to do, they will Ý em là nhàn cư vi bất thiện anh, là họ sẽ kiểu
They might think of something illegal to do.
yeah,
They might
some
think
maybe
of
yeah. They might think
something
of
dangerous
dangerous.
or illegal to do.
Yeah, okay. So sometimes when people feel bored, they maybe find something dangerous or illegal to do. Uh, let's think. Let's think about some singers when when they bored about like repeatedly
Singing the same thing.
perform.
Hát cùng
So
một
they
thứ.
will like. Yes, with the same song many times.
They
So
might
they
have
will like
to think of
uh,
scandals.
yes, or they will like use like street drugs like heroin or like
Oh,
something
of course they
illegal.
use that.
Kiểu như là đúng không anh?
Of
Đúng không?
course
Được
they
được được
do that.
không? Ví dụ
Of
đó được không?
course. Of course you can use those.
Yeah, cool.
Of course you can use those things as examples.
Yes.
Tại sao không?
Yeah.
Alright, good. Now, right, let's try a part 2 only now because I feel like you need more practice in that.
Yeah.
47. Okay. 42 is actually easy. Let's try that. 42 dễ nè. Describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. Miêu tả một công việc hoàn hảo bạn mong muốn làm trong tương lai. Can you do that?
Yeah. A perfect
It's
job.
quite easy. I think you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No, not yet.
So
You should say what it is, how you knew it, what it's like, and explain why you think it's perfect. And the question for part 3 is, what kinds of job do children like? Trẻ nhỏ thích những công việc như thế nào? Do children like to choose the same profession as their parents? Trẻ nhỏ thích chọn cùng một cái nghề như cha mẹ chúng hay không? Will people regret their career choices when they become older? Liệu con người ta sẽ hối tiếc cái sự lựa chọn nghề nghiệp của họ chứ khi họ già hơn? What should people consider when choosing jobs? Con người ta nên cân nhắc cái điều gì khi chọn công việc? Okay, you have some time to think now. Please describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. Trong tương lai nha.
So, the job of my dream is a pharmacist who have my own pharmacist, and the way I knew it is that one of my friends, she has a pharmacist of her own, and
she has a drugstore. A drugstore hoặc là a chemist hoặc là a pharmacy nha.
Yeah.
A pharmacy of her own. So she is a pharmacist. Cẩn thận.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mình dùng danh từ gì?
Yeah. So when it comes to a job of my dream, I would like a pharmacist in my old pharmacy, and the reason I knew it is one of my friends. She has a drugstore for her own, and so every day she's operates her chemist, and
she operates her own chemist
and she operates her own chemist, and also she can close it or open it whenever she wants.
Ui vui vậy, pháp buộc phải theo luật chứ nhỉ? I think it has to be according to the hours, you know, that the governments assign, you know.
No, anh mở không được, đóng được.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chỉ có khi nào ví dụ như là anh không có việc
if we
thì
have
anh
to
đóng
work
thôi.
If we have to work for like a corporation, then we have to open it and close it at the right time, but not now, I guess.
So còn nếu mà yeah, so if I have my old store of drugs, I can like operate it whenever I want, or I can have a more flexible schedule. So yeah, so being so working as a freelancer like that, I can find it more like convenient and comfortable for me, um, because I have like young children, so I want to spend more time playing with them, um, instead of like working for companies or corporations
Mm-hmm.
that I had to like follow the schedule fixed. And so, yeah.
Okay. So what kind of jobs do children like?
In my opinion, children are likely to choose the job that they are that they are admired. I mean, through the story that they were told by their parents or by their teachers, so they are inspired by this task. For example, in like outdoor activity, children are taken to like fire stations, so they are like um, empowered by like firefighters. So many like boys or girls want to be a firefighter in the future, to like help people, to save the people lives.
Okay, good. Quite good, I guess. All right, so do children like to choose the same profession as their parents?
Um, yeah, in my opinion, children tend to choose the same jobs as their as their parents, um, uh, because when they are young, parents they usually like tell them the positive aspect of uh, parents' job. For example, when I was a child, my parents they usually told me that being doctors can help can help to save people's lives, can like is respective, uh, mm, and it also have me to like gain to achieve the respect from many people. So so I was dreaming of being a doctor
Oh,
when I was a kid,
a child. When I was a child.
when a child, when I was a
When I
child,
was a child.
when I was a child.
Okay, good. Now, so will
And
people regret their career choices when they become older? What do you think?
people regret their career choice.
Liệu có người ta sẽ hối tiếc sự lựa chọn nghề nghiệp khi họ già hơn chứ? What do you think?
Câu này nó khó thiệt.
It's hard, I know. Think about the stories of older people. They always tell you to follow your dreams, you know, and passion. Những người già hơn, những người lớn tuổi hơn thường nói là ước gì ngày xưa tôi theo cái đam mê của tôi. You know, people always like that.
Okay.
They regret the choices they could have made a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay, I could say many people would regret their choice when they get older. Let's think about It's easily nowadays to see that many elderly they usually give some advice for young generation that the young should follow their dreams, their passions, other than the work, other than the jobs that can help them to afford the living cost. For example, my my father, he used to work as a doctor because being a doctor can help him to earn a lot of money to cover the living cost of my family, and also to have me and my brother to uh,
Yes.
attend in a good school.
To attend a good school, right?
But
To attend a good school.
to attend good schools. Uh, However, when he retired, he told me that uh, he when he was young, he wanted to be a a pianist.
Great. So I am a pharmacist too, but I quit my job and become an IELTS, an English and science teacher and piano teacher as well. And I am also a pharmacist. Does it mean I am living the dream of many people?
Yeah.
Does it mean that I am living the dream of many people then? Wow. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that.
Yeah. Trời ơi. Nhưng mà ngày xưa being a pianist nghèo nghèo đúng không anh?
Of course, being a pianist is always poor. Always remember that. Không buôn bán sao giàu. Or if you're not really good in your field, then you would not become rich. You know, because nobody would know you. You know. Trời ơi, làm nghệ sĩ không bao giờ không nghèo đó. Alright, so last question. What should people consider when choosing jobs then? Lots of things to talk about.
Yeah. So, okay. So choosing jobs, I can say many factors can affect choosing jobs for many people. The first thing I can say is the money. For example, people they will choose a job that can help them to earn money to cover the living cost, such as um, let's think about being like doctors, rather than being musical player. Yeah, musical players. Um, and another reason is that another thing that can affect the people choice in picking what they could do for a living is that like the family tradition. For example, in a family uh, in which parents are doctors, so their children are likely to be doctor too, because they will they have a great opportunity to learn or to gain or to achieve experiences from their parents, or their parents can have them to
Yes.
to get a job in a hospital.
Yes.
Like based on due to their connections in their
It's
field.
always about connection, you know.
Yeah.
Trust me,
So
it's
they
always
have a
about connections.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about work environment, salary, the colleagues, the opportunity for advancing in their career, cơ hội để mà tiến thân trong nghề nghiệp.
Yes.
You didn't really mention that, but it's fine. Okay, now it's good for today, I guess.